Hi guys, and welcome to the next installment of the F Word. I'm Becca Lori Hector, your BS detector, and I'm here to share with you this week's F word. So the F word, right? It's my word of wisdom for the week. And last week we got started. I sort of explained to you where the F word came from and what I'm looking to do with it. And basically what I'm going to be challenging you with every week is sort of to take a look at a particular word, think about what it may mean to you in your life, think about the real definition of it, and think about what that means to you, and sort of, is there something, some component of that that doesn't sit right for you, and is it something that you might want to change in order to make your life more fulfilling, more successful, happier, lighter, whatever you're looking for. As you know, the F word is, I pick one F word every year to sort of pick as my theme for the year. Last year it was float. This year it is flourish. And I sort of am breaking that down into a nice YouTube set of videos, I think, that combines sort of the idea of having a year-long theme, and also that sometimes, very often, a word sort of starts to live in our life and it takes on a different meaning for us. And what does that mean? And when should we check in kind of on that? So last week, before we get to the new word, last week's word was free. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experience living with the word free for the weekend, and at what point I sort of really figured out where that word free sits in my life. So I was sort of thinking a lot about the concept of free time. That was when it struck me. And I thought, really, there is no such thing as free time, because whenever we're giving it away, it's something that we can never get back. It's non-renewable, which makes it a precious resource, which makes it sort of as though it shouldn't ever be free. So I think I'm going to stop saying free time in my life, because it's almost like an oxymoron to me now, free time. And so what I'm going to start saying is leisure time, maybe, or fun time, or something like that, because even the energy that I'm giving to the things I enjoy is energy spent and time given that I can't get back. So that's a decision I have to make with my spoons, if you're someone like me with a disability, or a chronic illness, or maybe you calculate it in some other way. I'm curious to hear your feedback, sort of how free came into existence in your life, anything you might have gleaned or taken away from the word free this weekend. But before we can kind of have that conversation via comments, it's time to move on to the new F word. So what is this week's F word? Well, I decided on this week's F word about Wednesday when I was doing my truth nugget for the week, and I couldn't, because all of a sudden we had this kind of out of nowhere bomb cyclone in Colorado. So if you heard anything about the bomb cyclone in your news, it wasn't as horrible as they made it sound it to be, at least not where I was. I know down in the city they had a lot of trouble with it. But for me, my biggest kind of inconvenience of the snowstorm was no internet. What am I supposed to do? I record my truth nuggets on Wednesday. How can I share my truth nuggets with you guys if I didn't record it? So I had to be really resilient, and I had to think about what I could do. And I was in kind of a conundrum, because I had been on really low spoons during the week, and so I wasn't able to get any supermarket shopping done in time. So Antonia and I bundled up, and if you go back to the truth nugget, you'll see we drove through the crazy snow to go to our local gas station convenience store, so I could steal the internet or cell signal, whatever, and he could grab us some snacks and stuff for while we were stuck in the house before it got too bad. So I took you guys on that adventure, and that's where my word for this week came from. My word for this week is flexible. Yes, the F word is flexible. So let's take a look at the definition of flexible here for a second. It's pretty basic. It's not that exciting, but here it is, right? Capable of bending easily without breaking. Okay. able to be easily modified to respond to altered circumstances or conditions, okay? And of a person ready and able to change so as to adapt to different circumstances. Okay, so I like this word. I like it. It brings up a lot of words that we talk a lot about in the disability community and the autism community. So if you're part of that community with me, you'll recognize some of these buzzwords when we talk about them. So it's stuff like accommodating, stuff like being, able to change and accommodate a certain situation. Well, I can tell you that this word flexible tortures me. It does. As an autistic individual, I am pretty rigid in my thinking patterns, though it's something I've been working on for the last 6 years. It's something I think everybody can work on, are their thinking patterns. And I'm also sort of pretty opinionated and decisive about what I like and I don't like, and what I want to do and what I don't want to do. And that's something I've been sort of working with a little bit lately, because oftentimes when you work with other people, or when you're in a relationship like a marriage and I'm in, and we talk about compromise, and compromise is sort of that is really the ability to be flexible. And so as an autistic person, the ability to be flexible with change, for example, a change in a routine, or a change in who your doctor is, or a change in what your schedule was going to be for that day. Those things can really throw us off. So the idea of being flexible has been something I've struggled with for a really long time. But what I find is, just like every other word that we'll talk about ever, a word like flexible has a dark side. Ooh, what do you mean? Flexible is a good thing, or at least that's what people tell us. You should be flexible. You should be flexible. You should be more flexible. You should be more willing to compromise, all of those things. And while I think flexible, fair enough, is a good kind of idea, it's a good way to be, because it allows you to do things with other people and kind of accommodate them as well. But what you can end up doing is becoming too flexible, right? When you're always the person who compromises, when you are being flexible about things you shouldn't really be flexible about, right? For example, boundaries. And things like that, or when somebody is asking you to do something for them, or asking you to help them with something, you can be flexible and be available for those things, but not to the point of your own demise, right? We don't want to be so flexible that it makes us unhappy. So what I want you guys to do is to take this weekend and reflect on the word flexible. Are there areas in your life where you're being too flexible? Are there areas in your life where you're not flexible enough? Are there areas in your life where you've been flexible and you don't want to be flexible anymore? So what this word really does is it asks us to think about our boundaries. So take this weekend, think about your boundaries, think about the word flexible and whether you want to be more or less flexible in a variety of situations. And kind of take that with you, and then hopefully come back to me next Friday with my next F word and have some comments for me on your experience with the word flexible. And again, I'm Becca Lori Hector. I am your BS detector. This has been another installment of the F word. I will be back on Sunday with no BS. And that is my not safe for work. Here's what's going on in my life as I walk through this journey of things I'm kind of imparting on you. And then on Wednesday, we'll have yet again another truth nugget, which is my safe for work. Here's my little tidbit tip of the week. And you can catch all of those things if you find the floating head. I know it's really odd. I'm going to work on that subscribe button. But for right now, my floating head with Walter, me and Walter, if you click on that, you can go ahead and subscribe, or you can hit the button below. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get notifications. I record and send things out on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but I put them out multiple times on my social media. So you can follow me on Facebook if you want. You can follow me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and of course, here on YouTube. All right, guys, that's it for me today, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Have a great and flexible weekend. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.